Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to start our decision on machine learning. Let's first at least define what machine learning is. So instead of writing here the definition of machine learning, I have identified several sites that are regarded as, let's say, recognized authorities as far as data and data analytics is concerned. I have identified four of them. There are others. So if you Google machine learning, importance of machine learning, you'll have tons and tons of many references. So nothing's preventing you, class, from going over those references. But I've decided to choose some of the, let's say, more authoritative ones. So SAS Institute is one of them. SAS is a software, a very powerful software used in many of the companies, and they're at the forefront also of machine learning. So let me share with you this. Let's take a look at this site, and we'll take a look at the others also. So let's take a look at SAS Institute, and let's see what SAS Institute has to say about machine learning. All right. So this is the logo of SAS. Are you familiar with SAS, class? Kindly chat, please, if you're familiar with SAS. Yes or no, please. Okay, thank you. How about the others? Okay. Okay, good. Thank you for your feedback. Now, SAS is a very powerful creator of software. Okay, we used to have SAS before sa DLSU. Tapos may naging freeware pa nga nito na free freeware, pero I don't know if it's still available, but this is a very powerful software for statistical processing, for machine learning, for data analysis. If you take a look at this one, kunyari itong SAS, ito yung SAS VIA nila. I had the opportunity to learn SAS VIA, and it's really very, very powerful. So it's used in creating solutions for fraud, Internet of Things, marketing, risk management. Ang daming products class ni SAS. Okay, so forerunner to sa software development, and it's being used in banking. Big universal banks would use SAS, public sa sector, sa insurance, of course, and all other industries are make use of SAS products. So sa UP, ang ginagamit nilang isa to sa software na ginagamit ng mga ng uh, Department of Statistics. Kaya advantage sa mga students nila dun na once they graduate, when they're deployed to big companies, multinational, they have a working knowledge of what SAS can do. Kaya ano sila in demand talaga kasi gamit na gamit talaga itong SAS sa kanila. Okay, but nevertheless, class, may mga softwares na naman na ginagamit ngayon like R, Python. So you don't have to fret na wala kayong knowledge of SAS. What you can do is really augment or really reinforce your know-how in R and Python. Uh, Hopefully, class, if we're not able to at least have an introduction of Python, you will later on pursue that body of knowledge, no? That sphere of knowledge. Kasi I find it that once you know R, you can easily migrate to Python. Kasi yung coding ng Python is a little bit easier compared to R. Medyo mas challenging si R. So yung let's say yung learning curve for you in learning Python will not be that steep. So I really would like to encourage you to do that, no? After R, you're ready to learn Python. And also, and marami ng tutorials on Python. So you should not really be at a loss, no? So I really hope that once you graduate from this institution, nakalagay na sa ano nyo, sa let's say sa CV nyo, sa resume nyo na knowledge or proficiency in R and Python. And you'll be really very marketable pag ganun, no? Kasi dati, pag marunong ka nun, meron kang competitive advantage. Ngayon hindi na eh. It's no longer a competitive advantage thing. It's more of a competitive parity. So which means kung meron ka nun, if you have that know-how, if you have that knowledge, very good. However, if you don't know that, wala ka. Ibig sabihin, the chances of you really being accepted among a list, for example, among a several applicants for a particular position in a particular company, nadi-diminish yung probability na matatanggap ka kasi kulang ka ng know-how na yun. So I hope that this subject has provided you with at least the modicum of the introduction to learning R. Uh, Marami pang kailangang matutunan sa R, and of course, given the limited time natin, given the limited uh, time frame natin, medyo siyempre limited din yung ano natin, yung natutunan. But that should not prevent you from going further and really enhancing or retooling yourself so that you know more about R Studio, and later on Python. Now, this one, classical machine learning, very hot topic na talaga to, no? So that's why any finance student in LaSalle would do well to at least have this tucked in his belt, yung knowledge nito. So let's just go through the some of the links here. Tingnan natin kung ano yung sinasabi ng mga companies na to about machine learning. So at the end of the day, sana class, you peruse over these materials kasi wala naman tayong masyadong time na tingnan to in greater detail. Pero you have at your disposal these references, and I particularly chose yung mga sabihin natin mga avant-garde sa mga topics na to. Kasi pag ginugol nyo to, ang dami-daming references kagad eh. I don't want to choose the run of the mill na mga references. Ito talagang SAS. Ano yan? Authority yan. Okay? So briefly, ano ba yung machine learning? Ano ba yung ML? Method siya ng data analysis. So ang objective niya is to automate model building, analytical model building. It's part of AI, no? So si machine learning is under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. Ang ano nito, ang theory behind is that systems can learn from data. Actually, hindi naman siya talaga learning, no? uh, Computing machines do not have really the brains as human have. It's more of repetition kasi pag pinasok mo ng pinasok yung data na yun, so they will recognize pattern, they will learn quote unquote, no? For lack of a better term. Kasi kung tutuusin, hindi naman talaga yung learning process na which happens in the human brain. Siyempre, ibang klase yung learning process na nangyayari sa human brain. But it's just used sa ano sa yung lingo na to sa mga computers loosely, no? So it's like identifying patterns, and then from that makakapag-generate ng recommendation or decision yung computer with minimal human intervention. So that's machine learning. So in other words, parang i-shoot mo yung data dun sa computer, tapos siya na magge-generate, siya na maghahanap ng ano ng patterns, tapos siya magbibigay ng solution. So I'll let you read, no, itong ano na lang. I hope that you'll take time to read yung how this evolved over time, tapos yung concept ng big data, okay? Where so maraming ML algorithms have been developed. Medyo matagal-tagal na, no? And they would apply complex mathematical calculations to big data. When I say big, hindi lang yung big na napupuno yung laptop natin, hindi. We're talking of exabytes, talagang imagine yung data na na-generate, for example, ni Google, ni Amazon, ni Netflix, ni Microsoft, these big companies put all together, okay, put them all together, hindi pa nga big data yun eh. Okay? So, for example, ano ba mga applications nito? Yung self-driving Google car, I'm not sure if you have heard of that, but you might want to research on that. Gumagamit na machine learning to. Yung recommender system ni Amazon at saka ni Netflix. Pag nanonood kayo ng Netflix, kunyari nanood kayo ng isang movie, kunyari The Plane, no? And then mare-recognize siya kung anong pinapanood mo. Are you fond of adventure? Are you fond of mystery? Are you fond of action? So magbibigay ng mga ano yan, magbibigay ng recommendation for you to watch. So that's machine learning. So ML yung ginagamit ni Netflix sa recommender systems nila. Alright, so, sa Twitter, 'no? Sa Twitter may mga applications na inaalam yung pagkatao ng isang, a person that posts in Twitter. Okay, linguistic rule creation ang tawag dun. And sa finance, ito importanteng-importante especially now sa age ng marami ng mga bogus, mga scams, 'no? Ah, ang dami ko nakikitang post ngayon na na-dupe yung isang tao ng recently may nakita ako, nakilala ko pa, na-dupe ng around 75,000. Tapos siyempre nagra-rant siya dun sa Facebook 'no, na sana maging masaya ka dun sa ninakaw mo sa'kin, 'di ba? Kaya lesson sa'tin everyone, so ingat tayo sa paggamit for example ng mga ano, mga, whatever social media or mga online platforms where you buy or sell maybe. So let's just be careful because of this of fraud, of this scam that prevails. And unfortunately, gumagamit din yung mga scammers yan ng ML techniques. Yun nga lang, no? So it's ML versus ML. Okay. So importance of machine learning, okay? Okay, so things like growing volumes and variety. So yung data, have you ever heard of the 4 V's of data? Narinig niyo na ba 'yan? Anyone? Have you heard of the 4 V's of data? Sige nga, let me ask you. Anyone? Yung 4 V. 5 na nga yan. Minsan nadadagdagan na. No? I've seen 6 na. Can anyone specify ano ba yung 4 V's na yan? Okay, volume, yes. Ano pa? Velocity, yes. Thank you, Liza. Variety, yes. Ano pa? Veracity, yes. Thank you. Veracity, meron na. Okay. 6 na nga yan ngayon eh. No? So anyway, volume, sa dami, no? Sa laki ng volume ng data na pinoprocess ngayon. Velocity, yung speed. Okay? I read somewhere that yung since the beginning of time up to 2012, no? Pareho yung na-process na data from that time, yung beginning of time up to 2012 sa 2012 up to now, no? Grabe yung volume ng data na generate ngayon. Kasi hindi lang iba't ibang klaseng data na, no? You have also graphical data, 'di ba? You have media data also sa internet, 'di ba? Sa internet ano makikita natin? Mga nagpo-post, hindi lang mga pictures, yung mga sinasabi natin mga reels sa Facebook, 'di ba? O sa TikTok, 'di ba? Ang dami. This imagine kung yung pagsama sa Philippines na lang, 'di ba, yung text. I'm not sure if Philippines is still considered as the text capital of the world. Pero grabe text nation tayo eh. So hindi lang text, pati yung mga videos, lahat ng klase ng data na ano. And that talks about the volume and the variability, visibility, velocity, so veracity, okay? So these are the V's of data at this point in time. So napakarami na ng data kaya yung computing class, 'di ba? There was a time pag bibili ka ng ano ng I remember, sorry for telling this story, no? I don't know if you were able to make use of the floppy disk drive. Sino ba sa inyo nakagamit ng floppy disk drive? Floppy disk drive, ilan yung memory nun? Half ng 1.4, no? So siguro mga 700 ano lang, 0.7 megabytes. So imagine at that time, masayang-masaya na ako dun sa isang 0.7 megabytes. And then napalitan siya ng drive na ano yung nakalimutan ko na yung pangalan tuloy. Yung mga diskette, no? Na ang capability niya is 1.4 megabytes. And then during that time nag-ano si Omega, no? Naglabas siya ng isang malaking malaking parang disk din yun eh na it can accommodate 100 megabytes. At that time medyo bidang-bida ako nun kasi imagine meron akong hawak-hawak na isang disk na which can which can store 100 megabytes. Eh ngayon, ano na yung ano na lang 100 megabytes ngayon? If you check Lazada, no, hanapin niyo yung mga storage ano ngayon, drives ng mga ano. Meron na ngayon mga 100 tera and amumura na, no? Nakakita nga ako 300, 400 pesos lang na ilang terabytes yun, 60 terabytes. Yung nga lang I don't know of the quality of that, no? Kasi yung raw materials that's used for yung data storage has become very, very cheap. Okay, so economies of scale, ang daming gumagamit, ang laki ng demand, tapos ang daming mga suppliers. So talagang nag-drop yung mga prices. Okay? So of course ngayon may mga bagong technologies on data storage, but we'll not go there, no? So what else? I'll leave you class to uh, go over this. Sino gumagamit ng machine learning? Ayan. Sa atin, sa finance, importante ito. Okay, banks and other businesses in the financial industry use ML technology, okay, to identify important insights in data. Example, ano yung insights in data? Yung mga banks, yung mga credit cards, no? Magbibigay ba sa inyo ng credit card yan? So anong gagawin nila? So isang applicant, kukunin nila yung data mo, age, education, uh, gender, etc., etc., etc. And then they'll come up with an ML tool para malaman kung ang decision na to grant you a credit card or not. Lahat yan, automated na mga yan. Tools, they use tools in order, machine learning tools in order to come up with decisions. Also for fraud detection, okay? For fraud prevention and fraud detection. So itong mga to, class, and many others, ginagamit yan sa financial services. And not only that, pati sa mga healthcare ngayon, sa mga medical services, ginagamit na rin to. Okay? So for example, kahit yung mga doktor, yung mga online na ngayon, marami ng applications ngayon that they can detect, for example, na prone to cancer, prone to etc., etc. And this leads to improved diagnosis and treatment. Okay? So we can come up with several examples. Government also, retail, ito lalo na, retail, oil and gas, transportation, etc. Okay? Ito, marami examples diyan ng machine learning. Okay? Now, these are examples of the tools used, algorithms ang tawag diyan. Algorithms used in machine learning. So meron tayong mga neural networks, okay, meron tayong decision trees, random forest. Ito yung i-discuss natin ngayon, yung decision trees. Of course, limited na yung natin, no? So maybe we will try to, as much as possible, to also look at, of course, gagamitin natin tong random forest, okay? Yung gradient boosting and bagging, SVM, nearest neighbor, K-means clustering, this one. Okay, we're going to look at this as examples of machine learning. Okay? All right. So ito importante, class, yung ibig sabihin kung ano yung supervised at saka unsupervised learning or reinforcement learning at saka semi-supervised. For us, what's important now is these two, supervised and unsupervised. And what we're going to learn in this class is more of supervised learning. Okay? Just to give a quick distinction, pag sinabi nating supervised, yung data natin labeled na. Okay? Kung gagamitin natin yung sinare ko sa yung data, yung cardio, labeled data na yan. So, may example dito, no? So for example, yung piece of equipment daw, inaaral nila, tapos kung nag-fail o nag-run. So may label yon. May particular variable that identifies that. Okay, so yung supervised learning, mas madali ito. This is easier. Ang gamit nito is for, sometimes this is called CART, classification and regression. Okay? And then yung unsupervised, yung data, walang historical labels. Okay, and I'll not discuss anymore yung semi-supervised. I'll leave it to you to read on this. Okay, so meron pang ina-explain dito si no? And I would encourage you to read more, equip yourself with more knowledge about these things. Okay, so let's go to another site. Ito naman, yung site ni, ito, this is more academic in nature. Meet Sloan, ano to, MIT, no? Well-known sa technology din to. Okay, asan na yung MIT ko? Wala yata dito. Okay, sige, ano ko na lang yung, chat ko muna pala sa inyo, no? Chat. Okay, so kindly visit this site. Tingnan lang natin to. And as I said, class, there are so many sites that you can use. Okay, these are just examples. I just chose those that are, for me, are really, say, credible, no? Kasi sa dami-dami minsan ng ano ng mga site on machine learning. Yung ang question ko, how credible are the other write-ups, no? So si MIT, Sloan School, may explanation dito, okay? So we will not anymore really look at this. And I'd like you to see, for example, this in Deloitte survey na to. 67% of companies use machine learning, and 97% are using or planning to use it next year. So 2020 survey to. So ibig sabihin, this has already changed. So is this important to you as an individual, as a finance student? Yes. Kasi unless you're going into your own entrepreneurial venture na hindi mo kailangan ng boss, sarili mong boss yung sarili mo, kung ano man business ang gusto mong gawin, if you're going to really practice your career, your course, syempre mag-a-apply ka ng isang finance function. Ang finance, gamit na gamit talaga yung machine learning. So at least have ang goal natin, class, is graduate tayo ng Lasal. So kahit papaano, importante, meron tayong knowledge about this. Okay? It might not be that comprehensive yet, but again, class, we are planting now the seeds of learning sa inyo. So, ang challenge sa inyo, ang responsibility to make it grow, no? Take good care of it, nourish it, nurture it, diligan yung knowledge na yun, don't stop learning, okay? Have that passion to learn. Kasi para naman sa inyo yan no? It's for you. Okay. So, ito dinidiscuss din ni MIT what machine learning is. Maganda yung gusto ko yung discussion dito ni MIT, no? Sabi niya, ML starts with data. Whatever data, no? Quantitative data, photos, text, bank transactions, pictures of people, kahit nga bakery items, sabi niya, repair records, etc. This data is gathered and prepared to be used as a training data. We'll talk about this in a while. Training data, tapos gagawa tayo ng model on this training data. We will train the computer about how to handle this, and then gagamitin natin yung model na i-generate niya sa testing data. Okay? All right, so there are several examples here. I just want you to be familiar with this, no? Ano ba yung mga different functions? Yung 3 functions ng isang machine learning system, you have descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Okay, itong tatlong to. Descriptive. Okay, it tells us what has happened. Okay, yung past, no? Predictive. What will happen in the future? Okay, yun ang predictive. And prescriptive, okay, what do we now do? Okay, ito yung prescriptive. Nagpe-prescribe na tayo. So ito yung past, yung future, ito yung present. Ito yung functions ng isang machine learning system. All right, so there are other things. Ito, naka-explain naman yan, class. Descriptive, okay, then predictive, and then prescriptive. And then it differentiates supervised learning. Yan, sabi ko kanina, trained with labeled data sets, which allow the models to learn and grow more accurate over time. Okay? And then we have a diagram here. Okay? What do you do? What do you want the machine learning system to do? Yan. So ito unsupervised, supervised, etc. Alright. So marami pang iba dito. Ayan, sinabi ko kanina, yung differences ng natural language processing, neural networks, deep learning. So these are, and then ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, yung sa Deloitte, no? Ayan. Is the core of some companies' business models. Yan. Netflix recommender system ang tawag doon, yung suggestion sila. or Google's search engine. Or if you order, for example from Amazon or eBay, pag nagpa-purchase ka, usually nagre-recommend sila sa iyo kung ano yung ano. So tinitingnan nila yung pattern mo, pattern ng ano ng purchase. Ito yung sinabi ko, yung mga recommendation algorithms used by Netflix. Okay, image analysis, okay? Ito yung ginagamit sa ano sa mga driverless cars, no? Image analysis. Right, pati itong self-driving cars. All right, so another one, will not really stay long here, but I'm just sharing with you some. Ito naman sa IBM, and sabay ko na tong Gartner. I like Gartner kasi ito yung ano marami silang researches na ginagawa. So this is si Gartner, all about research. So that's what I want with Gartner. Magaganda yung mga research niya about machine learning, about AI. All right, so let's just take a look at, for example, IBM. Siguro naman alam na alam niyo yung IBM, no? Ito kay IBM to. Yan. So may konting discussion dito about ML, okay? So as we said a while ago, branch siya ng AI, artificial intelligence. And also mix, parang marriage ng computer science. Using of data and algorithms. Algorithms, ito yung mga codes, no? Ito yung mga commands para given to the computer for it to run. To enable AI to imitate the way humans learn, gradually improving its accuracy. All right. So I leave that to you, class. Ito na mention ulit natin, supervised machine learning. So these are very important terms na ginagamit sa ano. So at least familiarize yourself with these terms. Yung supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, pati yung reinforcement machine learning. All right. So ito yung algorithms na ginagamit sa machine learning. Yan, yung neural networks. Okay, it simulates the way the brain works. Huge number of link processing nodes. Okay, siguro magkaka-example tayo ng artificial neural networks dito sa discussion natin, no? Alright, ito yung i-discuss muna natin ngayon, no? Decision trees, okay? So while we're here, sabihin ko na decision trees can be used for both predicting numerical values. So that takes the form of regression. Kasi ginagamit yung decision trees for regression and also classifying data into categories. Decision trees use a branching sequence of linked decision. So nagba-branch yan. No? So titingnan natin mamaya. And also random forest, similar to decision trees. Ito, sabihin natin, these are decision trees in steroids. No? Kasi parang pinalaking decision trees eh. Kasi ang decision trees, isang decision tree lang. Itong random forest, you have several hundreds of decision trees. So mas gumaganda yung yung decision making process kung may random forest. Ang susunod na i-discuss natin after decision trees are random forest. Okay? All right. So ito mga real world examples. So ang ang advantage sa inyo class is that at your disposal are so many materials that you can use, no? All right, and then ito, lastly yung kay Gartner, no? Okay, so si Gartner, maraming this is for example, ito, no? I don't know if this is what Gartner.com, marami siya kasing research. And yung research na to are geared towards artificial intelligence, machine learning. So very useful itong site na to, for example, 4 secrets to success for executives. So many people use this. Executives of big companies, pati mga middle managers, pati mga officers, marami gumagamit nito kasi very informative yung Gartner, no? Consulting agency. So for example, 30 emerging technologies that will guide your business decisions. So hindi lang theoretical to, no? Ang sinasabi ni Gartner, these are technologies that are very important kasi makakatulong sa business decision making. So here are some of the examples: smart world, productivity revolution, etc., privacy and transparency, etc. Okay, so very interesting articles. So I really would like to encourage you to do that, no? To read. Kasi pag by reading class, you arm yourself with the know-how so that importante yan. Kunyari, pag nag-aano na kayo, ini-interview na kayo. At least may alam kayo, you're not in the dark, no? Why? Because you read a lot, which I would like really you to encourage you to do. Iba talaga yung nagbabasa eh. Iba talaga yung ano yung a person who arms himself with the know-how, no? Uh, so yun lang class, I'd like to encourage you as your mentor in this subject and even as your kasi later on siguro hihingi kayo sa akin ng ano eh ng referral. Some of the students would ask referral from me. Uh, maybe you're applying for a job or you're applying for a further studies and I'm happy doing that, no? And yung nga lang ang ano ko talaga ang di I mean ang advice ko, ang payo ko sa inyo, a friendly advice, uh, arm yourself with knowledge, no? Read, basa. And itong R natin, no, you might not see its importance or relevance now, but I guarantee you later, makikita nyo rin to. Sabihin nyo, ay, ito sinasabi ni Coach Bob dati, no? Nagamit ko dito sa ano. I've met, I've received many comments about that, no? Yung una, riniresent yung subject kasi ano ba naman tong R na to? Saan hindi ko naman yata magagamit to. But later on, they take back their word and say, uy, gamit na gamit pala talaga to ano, sa real world. Okay, so let's now start with at least the introduction. So gagamitin natin class, we have loaded this before, si Tidyverse. Sabi natin si Tidy World, kasama dyan si ggplot2, si readr, ang daming kasama niya na ano na packages, no? And then this package we're meeting for the first time, si party package. Okay? So, sige, i-run muna natin, class. And kindly check sa packages yung kung naka-check na andyan na si party, no? And once you've done that, please kindly chat please if you have loaded, yan, naka-ano sa akin, no? A laboratory for recursive partitioning. Yan. Partitioning to, no? Party, hindi siya yung party na alam natin. It's for partitioning. Okay, thank you. So how about the others? Good. Eliza, thank you. So let's wait for the others. Okay, good. All right, so a few more seconds for the others. If you're done, class, kindly go to packages, check, make sure that the party package is already checked. And maybe let's click this, ito. Click new party package, and then let's just see what this package is all about. Okay, so tingnan natin yung description file na to. Okay. So I went to the packages and then type party and then click the party. So this is a laboratory for recursive partitioning, kaya party, no? Partitioning the data. So sino yung mga contributors dito? Si Thorsten, okay? Hornick, Strobel, etc. So these are the contributors to this package. So ano to? What's this package all about? It's a computational toolbox for recursive partitioning. So pinapartition ng data. The core of the package is the function C3, an implementation of conditional inference trees. So conditional trees, which embed three structured regression models into a well-defined theory of conditional inference procedures. All right? So ito yung ano niya, this is the description of this backco. And these are some of the functions, no? Let's go with it. If you want to know more, click nyo lang tong user guide. And then sabi nga niya, itong C3, no? Conditional, ito yung pinaka tour de force ng package na to. If we click this, C3, so anong ginagawa nito? Recursive partitioning for continuous, censored, ordered, nominal, multivariate. So iba't ibang response or dependent variable ang kaya niya, no? Okay? Naglolo ko yung mouse ko. Mousepad na muna. So ito yung formula niya, C3. Okay, what's happening to my hold on, please. Baka yung battery ng mouse ko. Oo. It's not moving. Okay, anyway, I'll just use the mouse pad, which can be very difficult to navigate with. All right, so let's now go to our code. Hold on, class. I'll just replace the battery if I can. Okay, so let's now continue. We're going to use the cardio data that I shared with you. So since I hope you have loaded it into the folder in your R project, so we can just choose from the read R package this function read underscore CSV. And I'll just identify if I show you what's inside my project. I have here the cardio.csv, which I shared with you. So how do we load the data? Very easy. From the read R package, we have this read underscore CSV, and then we just identify the object and then call underscore names is equal to true. Our data has column names. So that's the advantage of using our projects. Okay. Kindly please chat if you're done loading the data. Okay, thank you. Let's wait for the others. Okay, thank you. All right. So, okay, I think there's a question here. Attendance, mamaya lang Hans. Okay. So, all right. So we have information about the data. There are 2,126 rows and 22 columns. The delimiter is a comma. So this is a comma separated values. And then these are the variables, LB, AC. And then here we're given some, for example, functions, spec, to retrieve the full column specification for this data. Okay, why don't we try that? And then also here, specify the column types or set show column types is equal to false to quiet this message. So if you don't want this message to appear, then in the read CSV, you can, once again, my mouse is in trouble. You can include that function, show underscore column underscore type is equal to false. But anyway, let's just let's view the data. Okay, view cardio. Okay, by the way, I named the data file is cardio, and I named it also cardio. Okay, so let's view this, view cardio. So here you have the data. There are 21, 26, 2,126 rows of observation and 22 columns. Okay, so this data, cardio, is a data about the information about a person's LB, I think, is the weight of the person in pounds. Then these are what do you call this, medical uh, statistics, or I don't know, vital heart statistics. All right. So we're not doctors, we're not medical practitioners, but rest assured that these are information about these individuals that pertain to the heart. Okay. And at the end here, you have this function, this column, this variable NSP. N stands for normal, S stands for suspect, and P stands for pathologic. Okay, so we have here, for example, 2. This means that this person, okay, 2 is suspect. Okay, so he's suspect of having uh, heart disease. Okay, so this is all about a person. Uh, one has been diagnosed to have heart. One has been diagnosed to be normal. Okay, and three, they have been diagnosed to be pathologic. Ibig sabihin, may sakit, no? So NSP, normal, suspect, and pathologic. All right. So what are we going to do? What we're going to do is come up with a model, okay? Come up with a model, a machine learning model, making use of, uh, in this case, decision trees tayo, no? To predict these individuals. If our model will generate a result na 2 siya, kung ang prediction ng model magiging 2 nga siya. So we're going to check if our model is able to correctly predict if the person is 2, 1, or 3. Okay, again, what's 2? 2 means suspect, okay? And 1 means normal, and P means pathologic, yung may sakit, yung may heart, may heart condition. Okay, so let's first take a look at the structure of our data. Okay, so it's a special table. It's a data frame consisting of 2,126 observations by 22 variables. Okay, and these are the variables. They're all numeric, no? LB, AC, FM, okay, lahat sila numeric. Okay, except for one below. Okay. Okay. One below is, sorry, I just changed batteries. Ito, si NSP, no? Okay, numeric din pala si NSP. 21133, no? And, all right. So, yung column sa LB, double siya, double. Ibig sabihin, this variables can take on decimal places pag double, di ba? All right. Now, si NSP class, hindi naman siya talaga numerical. Diba? NSP is actually a factor. What's a factor, class? What do you know by the variable called factor? What's a factor? Anyone? Especially my students in FinArts. Pag factor, class, it means it can be used as a what? As a, anyone, please? Anyone? Pag factor, class, ano? Okay, tingnan itong NSP, no? 2113. Okay? So, if we take a look at this, parang quantitative siya. 21133. But they're not actually numbers, no? They're actually classifications. So, pag sinabi nating factor, these are variables that can be used as a classifier. Okay? So, it's not really quantitative. Rather, kasi pwede natin palitan to ng suspect, normal, 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 normal. So, they're actually character variables that can be used as a classifier. So, pwede natin gawing classifier to. Okay? So, any variable, kunyari, gender, female, male. Pwede naman palitan si female ng 1, si male ng 2, or 0, 1. Okay? But those, that variable, yung gender, is actually a classifier. No? So, ang tawag sa kanya factor. So, what we're going to do now is, we're going to replace, let's take a look at class muna, no? Ano yung class ni NSP? So, class cardio, di ba yung data natin, $NSP, which means we're asking about NSP variable, and it's numeric. Now, what we want to do is to convert si NSP into a factor. All right? So, we'll just introduce we'll just introduce a new variable. And that new variable is called NSPF. Kaya tingnan nyo to. Cardio $NSPF. So wala namang variable na NSPF, di ba? Pero nag-i-introduce tayo ngayon. And then as that factor, cardio NSP. Okay. Kindly see what happens, class, and try to see yung cardio nyo, no? Ano nangyari sa cardio? And please chat. What happens when we run this? Yung cardio $NSP, NSPF, may F na, no? Tapos, as that factor, cardio NSP. What happens? Anyone? What happened to the cardio data set? Kindly chat, please. I'll wait for your chat. Can you describe now the cardio data set? When you run that, come on, class. We don't have eternity for you to share your answer. Still waiting, class, still waiting. Can somebody chat, or why don't you run it, class? Because I'm not sure why nobody's answering. Naging factor. May kulang pa sa answer mo, Gabi. Ano nangyari dun sa cardio data set? Okay, Eliza, from numeric, naging factor. No, I'm not asking about this. When you run this, I'm asking about this, class. When you run this, what happened to your cardio data set? Tingnan nyo, class. View natin yung cardio kanina. Okay, ano nangyari, class? Yes, Joaquin, thank you. Anong na-add? Anong column yon? Mag-mic ka na lang, Joaquin, please.
Sir, there's a new column po, NSPF.
Yes,
Sa
okay. Thank you, thank you. That's correct. Yun ang answer, class, na hinihintay ko sa inyo. No? Kasi nag-create tayo ng panibagong dito, $NSPF. This NSPF does not exist, di ba, sa original data natin. But here you're telling R, cardio, the data cardio, $NSPF, which is non-existent, which means that it will create this. No? So pag view ko yung cardio, okay, yung cardio class, hindi ko pa na-run, no? If I run that, Okay, magkakaroon na ng panibagong column na NSPF. There. So that's how you add a column to a data. So, yan, NSPF. All right? And then, okay, dito ang tanong, ano yung class ni ano? Ano yung class ni NSPF? So it is now it's a factor. Unlike NSP class, numeric. Hindi naman natin convert si NSP. We could have done that class. So we could have stated here cardio dollar NSP as that factor. So pwede rin yun. But in this case, we introduced this new variable called NSPF, and this NSPF variable is factor. All right. Then next, ito na tayo, no? So ito very important sa machine learning class. Okay? So this will deal with the concept of, I want you to do some reading on this, on the concept of, oops. On the concept of overfitting. Overfitting. Alright? So importante sa atin to class yung concept ng may overfitting at saka may underfitting din. What's overfitting? Overfitting class means that you're using all your data. In our case, 2,126 rows of observation. We're going to use everything there in order to create a model. Okay? In machine learning processes, that is not a good practice. Okay? Why? Kasi if you're going to use all the 2,126 observations, okay, number one, you are creating a model that's for that 2,126 observations. And you're actually overfitting. So that if a new data comes along, and then if you run that model in that new data, okay, it's possible that you'll not have a good output. So what's done? To remedy this, ini-split natin yung data natin. Yung 2,126 na yan, a portion of that, okay, let me use what we can do is that we can partition the data. Okay? So, for example, we have 2,126 observations. Ito yung number of observations natin. A portion of that can go to what we can call training data set. And then a portion can go to what we call testing data set. All right, so what will happen here? So some observations will go here, and then we will now create a model based on those data that were randomly classified here. Once we have created the model, we can now use our testing data set, okay? And run the model on this testing data set and see if the model was robust enough to have a good output for the testing data set. All right, so that's what happens. So we do not use all this, no? 2,126 observations because of overfitting. Okay, that's a problem class, overfitting. So what we have to do is we're going to split the data. The data split tayo, no? Split the data. All right, so this is the code now. First, we will set that seed. Now, you know what this means, diba? Set the seed generates randomized observations, and we set that seed to the same number so that we have the same output, we have the same results. All right, and then we're going to make use of the sample function. So tingnan nga natin muna tong sample class, sample function. Okay, so let's run this question mark sample. Okay, so saan yung sample na function? So that's coming from the base R yan, no? Base yan. So that's why you don't have to we don't have to install this package yung base R kasi yan yung quote unquote base ni R. Okay? So we have here random samples and permutations. So this will create random sample. And what does the sample function do? It takes a sample of the specified size from the elements of X using either with or without replacement. Okay, so medyo na mouthful siya, no? Ito yung syntax niya. Sample X, yung size, replace is equal to true or is equal to false, and then probability is equal to null. Mga default to. Okay, so may description dito. Okay, and there are several examples here below. Okay, let's just try, no? Let's just try. Copy nyo nga to, class. Ito, no? X from 1 to 12, and then sample of X. Okay, let me copy that, Control C, and then copy ko dito, Control V. Uy, hindi, mali. Okay, balikan ko dito. So just for us to understand what this sample function does. Control C. Okay. All right. So ito, nag-create ako ng object na X, and X is from 1 to 12. And then sabi ko dito, okay, I'd like to have a sample of X. Okay, and if I run this, itong dalawang to, no? Control Enter, we will have different answers kasi hindi ako nagsiset that seed dito, no? Okay. So what do we have here? Okay, you have here 11, 1, 8, 10, 12, 6, 5, 7, 3, 4, 9, 2. So ilan to? There are 12 numbers here. So kumuha siya ng sample, no? Ng sample. And take note, class, na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So sabi niya, mag-sample ka from this 1 to 12. Okay? Now you generated your own sample, but iba yung order, no? So yung sample na function, class, it will help us generate sample from a given set. Kunyari gawin ko tong from 1 to 5. Okay? So magsasample ako dito ng X. So ano dito? Yan, 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. Okay? So let me modify this a bit. Tapos gusto ko kunyari ng ano, I want 10. Okay? 1 to 5 and then 10. What will happen here? Okay, mag-error siya, no? Kasi sabi dito, you cannot take a sample larger than the population. So dapat ito, sorry, I'm going too fast, ha. I will explain this in a while. Dapat maglalagay tayo dito ng replace is equal to true. Kasi ang default replace is equal to false, eh. So if I run this, ayan, ano nangyari? Okay? So ito nag-run ng 10 samples. Saan manggagaling yung mga samples? From 1 to 5. Yan, 1, 5, 5, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5. So kumuha siya ng 10, no? Tapos 10, tapos ang choice niya from 1 to 5. Okay. So let me go back now to what we're going to do here. Okay, and let's take a look at the function that we're going to create. All right. So I want you to type this on your own. Hindi ko ibibigay sa inyo to, no? Tingnan natin to, class, no? So we're creating this one, okay, an object called PD. Okay? And then we're going to use the sample. Ano yung ano niya? Ano yung pagpipilian? Okay? Yung unang syntax diyan, yung sa syntax, it's X. And X refer to, ano daw yung X? It refers to, naka-define, yung vector na pagpipilian, no? X here. It's either a vector of one or more elements to choose from. Okay? Or a positive integer. So, 2, class. Ano ibig sabihin ng 2? So, ang ibig sabihin ng 2 dyan, class, either 1 or 2. Okay, so pipili tayo either 1 or 2, or you can put this 1 to 2, no? Pwede rin ganyan. Pwede rin yan, or 2. Ibig sabihin ng 2 dyan, ibig sabihin, either choose 1 or 2. Now, how many times? How many times tayo pipili ng 1 or 2? How many times, class? Si cardio natin, 2 times 120, 2,126 observations, di ba? Yun. 2,126 observations. So, magge-generate magge-generate ng PD object dito na 2,126. Anong laman niya? Either 1 or 2. So, parang lalabas yan, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, etc. Ganon, no? Now, why are we doing this? Kasi ang gusto natin, class, na itong cardio, itong object na to, i-split natin to into 2. Remember, ano yung gusto natin? Okay, so let me explain what will happen here. Okay, ito si cardio data set natin, ano? It has 2,126 observations. Now, split natin siya into training and testing. Okay? So what can we do with this one? Ito mga observations natin, pwede natin gawing 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, etc. No? Okay? So for those with number 1, pupunta siya, kunyari sa training, example lang. For those with number 2, pupunta siya sa testing. Ganun lang, no? Classify natin siya into 1 or 2. All right? So that's what we're going to create. We're going to create a vector numbered 1 and 2. Okay? Anong gagawin sa 1 and 2 na yon? I-append natin dito later on yon. Okay? Para lahat ng 1, okay, lahat ng 1 pupunta kay either training or pupunta kay testing, and lahat ng 2 of course sa opposite. Okay, so let me continue the function. Now, itong replace is equal to true. Ang ibig sabihin class ng replace is equal to true, yung pinagpipilian natin yung 2, okay? Kunyari, napili si 2, pwede yung imagine class, ganito, for clarity, no? Kasi dito marami nalilito eh. Ang ibig sabihin class ng replace is equal to true, so you have this container, no? Ang laman itong container na to, ping pong ball na 1, ping pong ball ni 2. Okay? So kunyari, yung unang pag-draw ng lots natin, yung sinake to, tapos kumuha tayo, nakuha natin 1. Okay? Now, pag nakuha natin si 1, ang natitira na lang si 2, di ba? So kailangan ibalik natin si 1. Yun ang ibig sabihin itong replace is equal to true. Kailangan ibalik mo si 1 para ibobola na naman para magdo-draw out ka. Pwede mo pa rin makuha si 1 or si 2. That's what this means, replace is equal to true. No? Pag hindi mo linagay yan, ang default kasi is equal to false, mag-error tayo. Kasi once ma-draw out mo si 1, okay, tapos replace is equal to false, edi wala na si 1, hindi mo na siya magdo-draw out. Ang natitira na lang si 2, di ba? So pag kinuha mo pa si 2, wala na. Wala na matitira. Eh, ang pinapagawa mo, 2,126 observations na 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, etc., etc. So pag na-draw out mo na si 1 or 2, yung first 2 draws, wala na matitira, di ba? Okay? So kailangan ilagay natin to replace is equal to true. Okay? Para ibalik yung 1 or 2 para tuloy-tuloy yung pagpipili. Alright? And then ano yung proportion? Dito ilalagay natin probability na 0.8 at saka 0.2. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Yung 1, since that's the first number there, 80%. And then yung 2, 20%. Alright? So why this? Kasi ang gagawin natin class, yung training dataset natin mas malaki kaysa testing dataset. Okay? Ito ba lagi 80-20? Hindi. May makikita ka na iba 70-30. No? 70-30, 75-25. So it really depends. No? Okay? So for as long as enough yung data natin for the training and sufficient lang din yung for the testing. And usually syempre mas malaki yung sa training data set natin. Yung sa testing data set natin mas konti. Okay? So probability 80%, 20%. So probability yan class ha. Okay? So ibig sabihin what is ano ko lang. Bilis ng oras. So approximately 80% ni 2126 will be mga 17, no? Mga 17 ang pupunta kay training. The rest yung 0.2 of course kay testing. Although probabilities lang yan, no? Not necessarily exactly like that. Alright, so sige, i-run natin to class, no? Run this, ito muna, i-run muna, tanggalin ko na tong sample na to. I-comment out ko na lang siya. Okay? Set that seed and then PD. Choose the same number class para ano, para pare-pareho tayo. Alright, now take note of this class. Si PD and dito na, no? Integer siya, it's a vector, no, of numbers 1 hanggang 2126. Okay? And then tingnan nyo, so number siya, nag-assign siya ng either 1 or 2 dun sa 2126 observations. So that's what happened, no? So if I print this, itong PD, ayan, yan na class. 2,126 na parang may ID na sila, no? Inisplitan natin yung data natin into twos, ones, and twos. Okay? Of course, class, kung tatlong classifications, kunyari, di magiging dapat, kunyari, pwedeng 3 ito, tapos yung probability, tatlo din dapat, no? Kasi tatlo sila eh. Okay? But this is just an example of dalawa lang yung pinapaano natin. Alright, so let's now do this. Okay, pause muna ako. Are you able to follow, class? So far, clear yung ano natin, yung split ng data natin. Okay, feedback please. Okay, how about the others? Thank you for those who are faithfully providing feedback. Thank you. Good. Yeah, very good question, Eliza. No? Ang question ni Eliza, standard ba yung 2? Kasi solely for, yes. You answered your question. That's correct. So bakit 2 yung ginamit natin dito? Kasi dalawang groups lang gagawin natin. No? Training and testing. Kaya 2 lang siya, para 1 and 2. Now, as I said, if there were 3 groups na gagawin natin, so 3 dapat yan. Pero yung probabilities natin dapat, kunyari, 60, 30, and 10. Parang ganun. May ganun din dapat. Okay, good. Good question. Thank you. Alright. So may PD na tayo, di ba? Meron tayong partition ng data natin. No? So we will now partition ng data natin. I-create na natin si train data set natin. Tingnan nyo yung train natin, class. Si train will be, okay? Si cardio class, cardio, isa subset natin where PD is equal to 1. Take note yung equal to dalawa dapat, ha. Mag-error yan kung isang equal to lang. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Di ba meron tayong class, meron tayong yung PD kanina, di ba? Ito. Yung PD natin, class, 2,126 yan. So ang sinasabi natin, lahat ng 1, ito 1, 1, 1, 1. Tapos ito 1, lahat ng 1, ilagay niya sa training data set. Ito. Yan, class, take a look. Cardio, and then brackets there means, di ba, subset, right? Okay, and we're going to put it in our training data set. Yan. Train data set. Okay, sige, gawin natin to, class. I-run natin. All right. Now, I have here a train data set. Ilan yung laman ni train data set? 1,780 na lang. Hindi eksaktong 1,700. Kasi probabilistic lang naman yung 80% eh. Okay? So we have now created a data set na 1,718 observations. Diba? Tapos random yan, class. Diba? Random yan. Randomly generated. And we should have the same, class. Dapat pare-pareho tayo kasi nag-set that seed tayo eh. Okay? So nakapag-create na tayo ng train data set natin. Tingnan nyo to. Ito, di ba? Ito yung train data set natin. Alright? So, 1,718 observations. And this pertain to lahat ng 1. Lahat ng 1 dun sa lahat ng 1 dun sa PD natin, ito yon. Ito yung mga 1. Tapos, ang ipapasok natin ngayon sa testing data set will be ito, class, no? I-create naman natin si testing data set. So, test natin is cardio, PD is equal to 2. So, i-run natin to. Okay. If you notice ngayon, si test data set natin here, 408 observations. Yan. 408 observations siya. Okay? Tapos ito, 1718 training data set. If you add this, of course, 2126. So, ini-split niya si 2126 randomly, no? Randomly generated. Hindi yung first 1700 si train, second 1700 si test. Now, question class. Why is it not good, no? Bakit hindi maganda kunyari itong kasi kung gagawin natin 80%, 20%, it's almost time. If you need to go class, I'll just extend a bit, no? Para just to explain this. Bakit hindi maganda class na yung first 1700 kay train dataset, okay? Kunyari, asan si 1700? Kay train dataset yun. Tapos yung last na yung from 1701 hanggang 2126 kay testing dataset na. Do you think that's a good idea, class? Do you think that's a good idea? The answer, class, is no. No, bakit? Paano kung yung arrangement ng data, okay, pwede kasing lahat ng 1 sa NSP inuna nila, no? Inuna nila. Eh di paano 'yon, class? So yung sa train natin, lahat yung 1. Tapos karamihan yung iba sa testing data natin, either 2 or 3. So dapat yung pag-set natin ng okay, dapat okay lang naman yung Eliza, yung hindi equal yung proportions. Ang importante dito, yung arrangement ng data. Okay, kasi kunyari, yung arrangement ng data, hindi natin alam kung lahat 1, 1, 1, 1 yan. Tapos, yung first, let's say, 1800 observations, panay 1. Eh di yung 1700 na observations natin, panay 1 yun. Diba? So, hindi na maganda kasi karamihan ng NSP natin na number 1, ando doon na sa training data set natin. So, dapat randomize yan. No? It should be randomized for us to have a better creation of a model. All right? So, okay, so it's almost time. So next time, class, pupunta na tayo, no? We will now go into the partitioning of the training data set. But before we do that, lastly, class, tingnan lang natin dito, no? Tingnan lang natin dito na lang. Dapat at least alam natin table. We can use this table. And then, si cardio, tingnan natin yung cardio and then NSPF. Okay. NSPF class. Table, let's create a cross tabulation. All right. So makikita natin, class, na 1655 dito, normal. 2 yung suspect and 3 yung pathologic. Okay, ito yung sinasabi ko sa problema, no? Kung ang ginawa natin, yung first 17,000 observations, group 1 yon sa training. And yung arrangement nito, panay 1 yung unang 1655, then magkakaproblema tayo sa data set natin. Hindi na siya good representation. Okay, kasi yung data naka-arrange in such a way na may arrangement yung data. So as much as possible, maganda pa nga yan, dapat i-randomize muna natin siya. No? That can be done. Na i-jumble yung arrangement ng data para randomize din. Okay, so with that, class, we end our discussion. So next meeting sa Tuesday, magpa-party na tayo, no? Titingnan natin how ito, class, just to show you, imo-model natin si NSPF. Okay? I'm going to show you what happens. And then, titingnan natin yung tree, kung ano mangyayari. Tapos, magkakaroon tayo ng results. Tapos, i-compare natin ngayon, gagamitin natin yung model natin to see kung okay siya with the testing data set. No? Okay? All right. So, thank you so much, class. I hope you learned something this